Hello everyone. How's everyone doing? so, uh, Before we get into the topic at hand, I just want to say I hope everyone is staying healthy, staying safe in these very troubling times. But let's not focus too much on the bad. Let's talk about some Patriots football news. For First and foremost, I just wanted to kind of jump on and talk about the brand new jerseys, kind of, sort of, kind of, sort of brand new. I'll get into that in a minute. Uh, Also, I wanted to give my thoughts about the Gronkowski trade, and just kind of now that I've had like a day to kind of sit on it, rather than jump on here and give my kind of irrational thoughts on it. But first and foremost, let's talk about the jerseys, the new jerseys. So, if you guys haven't seen them yet, I'll put a picture of them right there on the screen for you guys to see. It is the new home jerseys are basically just going to be the color rush. Maybe some small changes. I think like the text looks a little bit different on the nameplate. It's like a sans serif instead of a serif. There's no like, it's more bold. The numbers, I don't know. To me, they look slightly different. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But basically, it's the color rush, the home with the blue on blue. The away, it's essentially the same, only the stripes. The jersey itself is white, and as you can see, the stripes are red and blue. And the helmet is still silver. Really, nothing drastic to these new jerseys. It's nothing like too different from what they were already rocking. And interesting enough, the reaction from the Patriots community on the look of the New Jersey seems to be pretty mixed. There's a good number of Pats fans that were hoping that they went back to the old AFL jerseys where it was all red and they had like that old Pat the Patriot on their helmet. The helmet was like white. I don't know. There's maybe a group or a small chunk that just think, they just don't like the stripes or just don't like the fact that the helmet is silver. And uh, so, and then there's a lot of Pats fans that overwhelmingly love the New Jerseys. They really love them. A lot of the players have been posting pictures on Instagram and rocking them and really showing their full support for them. So, what category do I consider myself to be a part of? I would say more or less I really love these New Jerseys. New Jerseys. That's sorry, that was just weird. But I more or less really like these jerseys. I really do. I don't like I said, I don't think they're too too drastically different from what we were already wearing, and I really liked our color rush. I thought they were kind of like they kind of toed that line of like paying homage to a more like traditional looking football uniform while not looking too retro. And I think that's why I just wouldn't have cared for it if they just did the whole AFL revamp, if they went straight back to the AFL Classic kind of thing, like started rocking the red and had the Pat the Patriot. Now, don't get me wrong, I really like those jerseys, but I like when they barely wear them. I like it when they wear them to like celebrate AFL anniversary games, or like if they're playing on Thanksgiving and they wear them. I like the classic feel to it. And I think if the Pats were to just outright go back to that, it would kind of it would kind of kill that prestige and kind of kind of like dampen. I don't know how to word this. Like it would kind of like it would just kill the fun, of like the classic vibe and how more or less it's like celebrating the AFL. I think it's better that they kind of went with a more like kind of a balance, because I think the stripes on the jersey more or less are like a tribute to the old stripes on like the older jerseys. Now, the numbers on the white ones are blue, not red like the old AFL ones. I actually prefer the numbers to be blue. I think the blue stands out a bit more, and I like the red outline around it too. Overall, I really dig these new jerseys, and I'm actually looking forward to maybe owning a couple. You know, uh, Now as far as the helmet goes, I like that they kept it silver. I don't mind, but I wouldn't have hated it if they made it white. I think the excuse me, I think the flying Elvis on a white helmet wouldn't have been such a bad idea. I'm not mad that they didn't go with that, because I think I've always liked a white background, and I think like I said, the flying Elvis on a white helmet, it would look really cool. And I have seen some like photoshopped concept art of what it would look like. I can't talk. Sorry. And I think it would have stood out really well. But yeah, I'm not mad that they kept the silver helmets. I do like that it's gonna keep the more shiny kind of chromish look, make the helmets more shiny looking. Kind of. They're not really chrome, but you know what I mean. They're shiny. So, yeah, to kind of sum it up, I really like the new jerseys. I think they kind of balance out that retro look while also being its own thing, kind of new. It's fresh. It's awesome. I love the home jerseys. I love the away jerseys, and yeah, I overall I'm just glad that they didn't do anything too drastic, and yeah, I'm looking forward to adding a couple to my collection. Now let's get to the bigger news, and that is the big trade that the New England Patriots pulled off with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I guess I should say that Tampa Bay pulled off with New England. It depends on what way you look at it. So, unless you've been living under a rock, you probably know this already, but the New England Patriots are sending Rob Gronkowski and a 7th-round pick to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a 4th-rounder in this year's NFL draft. And that's it. So, when I initially saw this trade, I was like, oh, God, really? Just a 4th-rounder? That's it? But you got to keep in mind, Gronk has been retired for a year, which it's not a long time, but he is going to have to get back into football shape. And Tampa Bay is certainly taking a bit of a risk. If you think about it, Gronk he is definitely arguably the greatest tight end of all time. I'm not downplaying it. And I think the Pats probably could have gotten more out of the deal. Maybe they could have pushed for an extra draft pick or so in, this year's draft. Maybe a 2nd-round pick for next year's or a 3rd for next year's. I don't know. Maybe that's a little steep. At the end of the day, Gronk was a retired player. So, and let's be real. This is a trade that I firmly believe did not happen in the course of just one day. No, I think this was being negotiated for days and days and days, and because I just think it's a little too big. And like I said, there is a lot of risk in trading for a retired player that's, coming back. And I think the fact that we were able to get a fourth rounder for this year's draft, look, it is what it is. I'm not going to rage about it. We've seen what Bill Belichick can do with fourth round picks. They're almost his bread and butter. The only team they really could negotiate with was Tampa Bay, because the story is that Gronk was only going to play with Tom Brady, and obviously Brady's a Buck. So, like I said, I like to think they probably did push for more than just a fourth rounder, and they just couldn't get anything else. So they just took what they could get and made the deal. I can't say Tampa Bay really they ran away with this one, but I do think at the end of the day they're probably getting the better end of the deal. I mean, they already have a stacked offense. They already had a nasty tight end in O.J. Howard. Now they got two of them. They have the greatest quarterback to ever play the game, and they have two awesome wide receivers in Mike Evans and Chris Goodwin. It's hard for me to say, New England won the deal. In fact, I can't. Because at the end of the day, all they did was get a draft pick. So it all comes down to what that fourth round draft pick becomes and what Gronkowski does for Tampa Bay. So as of right now, I kind of lean more towards Tampa Bay winning the deal. And it kills me to say it because I'm a Pats fan, but I'm just being honest. But again, I think you give a guy like Bill Belichick a fourth round pick, and it could be incredibly dangerous because it's almost like pulling a rabbit out of a hat. The guy just somehow finds really nasty, really great talent in those mid rounds. So I'm not totally angry that all they got was a fourth rounder. I wish they pushed for more, but hey, it is what it is. And that about sums up my thoughts on the Gronkowski trade. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for you today as far as my thoughts on anything Patriots goes. If you guys, I'm curious to know what you guys think about the new jerseys. Do you love them? Do you hate them? Are you kind of in between? I also want to know what your thoughts on Gronkowski. Is like the trade. Who do you think won the trade? Are you angry that they got rid of him for just a fourth rounder? Or do you think, hey, we kind of got a steal because at the end of the day, Gronk was a retired player? Whatever your thoughts are, throw them in the comment section below. As always, go nuts, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, guys. And until next time, I'm Justin Crumley, and this is Cujo Productions saying, Go Pats.